And, you know, I was trying to leave again at that point because it was like a new nurse. She was poking me. I had bruises all over my arm. I'm like, I'm out of here. So I told the doctor, you know, I would like to leave, like, what's going on. She was like, these are dying numbers, like, we want to keep you. So what do you want to do?
Do the parties stipulate to the presence of the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any conversations, communications with Mr. Bush?
Yeah, as I said, you know, through the emails, and I may have spoken on the phone with them. I don't recall specifically, but yes, I'll let you know everything that I know.
These are what's called requests for admissions. So let's start with 14. Well, admit that you knew in 2022 or before that ORT meters you were selling after 2011 were being used by some purchasers to take negative ORT readings. Okay. You see that statement?
Let's see, you said line 14?
No, I said request number 14, line 10.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and you knew that, right?
Yes.
Okay, going to 14. Admit that you knew in 2020 or before that ORT meters that you were selling after 2011 were being used by some purchasers in the process of making alkaline water, unquote.
Yes.
And you knew that too, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you had tons of Kangen water customers using your term, right?
Yes.
Okay. Flipping over to page 9, number 16. Admit that one or more purchasers called you after 2011 and complained that the MW series of meters were difficult to calibrate, unquote. Okay, if I change the word complain to discuss the fact, would that be accurate?
Inquiring, and I wouldn't say that they were calling specifically saying that they were difficult to calibrate because they're factory calibrated, so there is no calibration. It's all about validating the probe and maintaining proper maintenance on the probe.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with calibrating it.
You had inquiries from dozens and dozens of customers about how to oxidize the probe. Is that correct?
I have some customers that call and ask about oxidizing the probe. Yes. I would not use the term dozens and dozens.
Okay. How about tons?
No.
Okay.
I get more calls on pH than I do ORP.
I think that's a case for a different day. All right.
Well, I'm just saying, if you talk about phone calls and complaints.
Okay, exhibit 19 again. We're on page 9, lines 24 through 25. Customers did call and say that they were having difficulty taking negative ORT readings with the MW series meters, right?
That's what it states. Yeah.
That's true statement, right?
No.
Yes?
It's all about proper probe maintenance and validating the probe.
I'm not trying to assign blame here. I'm just saying it's a true statement that people called and discussed difficulties they were having taking negative ORT readings, correct?
I do get some calls, yes.
And more specifically, you don't know whether or not there have been any studies done to determine whether or not Milwaukee can make an ORT meter that works for negative ORT without doing some sort of oxidization of the platinum probe.
Again, I do not know. Yes, sir.
So you can't tell me whether it would cost 1 penny more to make such an item or $100 more.
I have no idea.
After discussing this today, do you agree that it would be a good idea to make an ort beer with that works for negative warp reading right out of the box without oxidizing the platinum probe?
They do read negative out of the box. It just takes a lot of time to get the negative reading.
Okay, how long do you think most people spend taking negative warp readings? Minutes, couple minutes?
Typically, yes.
You had a comment where you said, I don't recall any specific communications with anyone. I just want to clarify, outside of those emails with the sales department that we went through today, do you have any specific recollection of any communications with anybody at Real Water over any period of time?
Right. So as I stated, the only other communication that I do remember are just a few phone calls, maybe 3 or 4, with you guys trying to place an order over the phone, and I would just refer you to email the order so I have a physical copy of it.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't recall any other conversations.
With anybody at Real Water
No, sir, I do not.
over any period of time?
No, sir, I do not.
And then correct to assume you haven't been out to Nevada or Arizona at the facility or plant at any point in time?
Yeah, I've only been to Vegas once. That was in 2018 for NACNA, which is a big aquatics trade show. So that's the only time I've been to Vegas.
Is that it? That's it. That's it, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, with respect to the exhibits that were shown to Mr. Brown, we would move in several of them. Exhibit 186, the MW500 user manual.
What number is that? I'm sorry, what number?
Exhibit 186. Plaintiffs exhibit 186.
Any objection?
No objection.
No objection.
Okay, shall be admitted.
Exhibit 191, which is the negative ORC note from the Milwaukee website.
No objection from the
Objection to the characterization of it being on the website. But other than that, I have no objection.
Mr. Rasmussen?
Again, the same thing, it's characterization, it's actually titled Measuring Negative ORP in Kangen Water. So other than that, I'm happy to have it in there, but it's not Kangen water.
Shall be admitted.
Thank you. Exhibit 196, preparation and conditioning of probes for negative port readings.
No objection from the lawyer. Mr. Rasmussen?
I need to pull it up here.
Okay.
No objection.
No objection.
All right, shall be admitted.
Exhibit 199, which was the email chain that Mr. Brown pulled up during the deposition.
No objection from the lawyer. All right, any objection?
Just a minute, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mayor, did we move in exhibit 187, which was also shown in the tip card?
I did not.
Are you going to?
No objection to 196.
I can't.
No objection to 187.
No objection from Will Water on 187 either.
Then there's another, you call
What
it
about
version.
one, we haven't heard from Mr. Rasmussen as far as 186 is concerned.
196.
Oh, 196, I'm fine with 196. I believe they were talking about the email chain 199.
Okay, 199, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. 196, I have no objection on the record. 187, I have no objection.
And the email chain, that's 199.
I have no objection to 199.
No objection, Your Honor.
Shall be admitted.
So 187 is the tip card. Move to admit.
Will Water said no objection.
No objection.
No objection to 187. I was the one who moved it.
Sorry. Shall be admitted.
Exhibits 201, 202, and 203 are all the chat messages.
No objection from Will Water on any of those.
Can we approach on that, Your Honor?
Okay, we can approach. All right. Everyone got it except for, and there's been any objections reserved on the record, Mr. Counsel, can you go over it again, just to make sure Troy has it correct?
Yes, Your Honor. These would be plaintiff's exhibits 201, 202, and 203, and these are all the chat messages.
Is there an objection on those?
No, we preserved the record on that. They shall be admitted.
So they're stipulated?
No, they're not stipulated.
Okay.
Shall be admitted. How's that?
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. Pardon? 207 was,
207 we'll reserve for.
they'll discuss that amongst themselves.
The last two are Exhibit 745, which is the September 6, 2022 responses to plaintiff's request for admission.
No objection.
No objections.
Shall be admitted.
And then Exhibit 746, which is the January 13th, 2023 supplemental responses to interrogatories.
I have no objection.
Shall be admitted. So, I mean, there was no objection by Mr. Rasmussen.
No objection.
Actually, Your Honor, we probably should take a look at those before we admit them,
Okay.
because they may need to be redacted in some
Yeah,
way.
we'll hold off on that for now, and you'll work on it. And what's for the record, that was once again
746.
746.
So it's
Seven
just
four-
746?
No, 745 and 746.
Yeah, we probably do. I see what you're saying. Thanks.
They're gonna reserve 745 and 746 until later. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, I think just to be safe.
So are they admitted today, or they'll be moved for admission again when I have the report?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll do it tomorrow.
All right. We call Mr. Jeromy Botiz.
Okay.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
May I have you state and spell your name for the record?
Jeromy Botiz, B-O-T-I-Z.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, to facilitate, we plan to use just two exhibits with Mr. Botiz. Exhibit 691, which is a single page, it'll be the new 691, and Exhibit 696, also a single page, which will be the new 696. I've discussed it with defense counsel before, and I believe we have a stipulation to amend these.
Agreed.
We do.
Yes, sure.
Shall be admitted.
May I approach?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Jeremy.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
How about yourself?
Let's introduce you to the jury. Okay. Where did you grow up?
My name is Jeromy Botiz. I'm 36 years old. I grew up in North Las Vegas. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. I was going back and forth with my mother until my father died when I was 12 or 13 years old.
You moved to Las Vegas when you were an infant,
Yes.
and then you would visit your father while.
Yeah, every other summer, when school was over, to spend time with him.
Where did you graduate from high school?
Canyon Springs High School.
And what do you do for work?
Right now, I work for a credit repair company that I'm a part owner of.
And where do you live?
I live in Mountain's Edge.
What are some of the things you enjoy doing with your spare time?
Well, I love music, so I'm an engineer. I use Pro Tools up with the beat, with the vocals.
Record music?
Yes.
Anything else you enjoy doing?
That's pretty much it. I like working out. It's pretty much revolved around music in my credit repair business.
Let's transition to why we're here. When did you first start drinking real water?
I started drinking real water in about 2014.
And did there come a time when you started getting home delivery?
In 2020, I started getting home delivery of it.
So you first drank real water years prior, and you would just get the retail bottles.
Yeah, I would just get the 2-liter bottles. They're big. I kind of moved away from them because you can't fit them in a cup holder.
Then in August 2020, you started getting the home delivery, the 5-gallon.
Yes.
Focusing on that August 2020 time period, did you live with anyone at that time?
Yes, I had my girlfriend at the time and her daughters,
What are their names?
Lindsay Vincent, Miley Goona, and Melina Goona.
Lindsay was your girlfriend, and Miley and Melina were her 2 daughters?
Yes.
How old were they?
At the time, 9 and 12. Around that age, like 12 and 9. They're 2 years apart.
After you started receiving the home delivery in August 2020, how much real water were you drinking on a daily basis?
I was drinking a lot of it. We had a little challenge. Who can drink a gallon of water a day? I did have like some stomach issues, so I was like, okay, let me dilute as much as the acids that I can with this water. So I was drinking a lot of it. They was delivering about 5 to 10 5-gallon water bottles when they did deliver.
Did you cook with it?
Yeah, I made oatmeal, tea. We boiled our rice with it. Almost everything that we can do that had to do with water, we got it right from the tap because we thought that was the best thing to do.
Was everyone in the household drinking it?
Yeah, everybody.
And when did you start to feel sick?
I started to feel sick around the summer of about August of 2020. It was before my birthday. My birthday is like August 30th. I started to get sick. I had some issues with my stomach before, like acid. I was taking Nexium and nausea medicine. So I was thinking I was trying to mask the feeling of what everything by continuing to take a double doses of Nexium and Zofran.
So you started getting sick near your birthday, end of August, and you just attributed it to your stomach.
Yeah, like, okay, it might be something I've ate or something going on. Maybe I got stomach poison. Let me go ahead and just take another Nexium and extra Zofran, and that should be cool.
And the August 2020 time period, that's kind of in the heart of COVID. Did you think it was COVID or anything
I
like
thought
that?
it was a lot of things. I didn't want it to be COVID. I didn't want it to be anything because I'm scared of the hospital. So I'm like, I'm not trying to get stuck in the hospital. Let me just go ahead and just, make an appointment with my gastro doctor and let him know that the medicine that he prescribed me might not be working.
And it stayed with you.
Yes.
So it's not going away. Is it getting worse?
Yeah, it's getting worse. So I made the appointment to see him. It's like 3 or 4 weeks out. So I'm waiting to see him, and it's just persistent. It's just like the nausea was so heavy. So it's like shortness of breath. I couldn't stay still. And I ended up going to Summerlin Hospital first.
If you can tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what happened at Summerlin Hospital.
I went to Summerlin Hospital. They wanted to admit me, but like I said, I was worried. I was scared. It was COVID going on, so I'm attaching. Then you got to stay 10 to 14 days away from everybody. So I'm like, okay, if they admit me, I'm gonna be in here at least 2 weeks. So I left. I was still sick, but I just left because I didn't want to get admitted.
What happened next?
So the nausea started to get even heavier. So I ended up going to Dignity Health, Blue Diamond, near my home. It has like an emergency. It's like an urgent care / emergency room. And when I got there, that's when they actually did some more blood tests on me, and they wanted to send me off in an ambulance, which I refused again because I didn't want to. I guess I was just scared to be in the ambulance and get took to the. So I just had Lindsay, who was with me at the time, to take me to St. Dominican and St. Martin on Buffalo.
So you go to Summerlin Hospital with your symptoms at that time, and they wanted to admit you.
Yes.
And you didn't want to be admitted to the hospital, so you left. Is that right? And then you're getting even worse, and so then you go to the Blue Diamond. It's an emergency room,
Yes.
Urgent care type, kind of in between the hospital and
Yes.
urgent care, right? And then there they tell you need to go to the hospital.
Yes.
They wanted to send you
And
via
they wanted to. So I said, oh no, I got my own ride. Let me go. I've always had this thing of, let me make sure I'm all right with everything before I go to a place like that and just be sitting for a while. So I ended up just saying, okay, I'm sick, I'm real sick, and I was falling out. I was real nausea. That was what I can read. Real bad right abdomen pain.
What were some of your other symptoms, if any?
I was throwing up a lot. I don't remember the diarrhea part because I was taking a lot of medicine. I probably was constipated and diarrhea. A whole bunch of stuff was going on. It's just what I can remember is the pain and the nausea. That nausea was the most.
Do you remember having a feeling faint or dizzy?
Yeah. Well, Lindsay, she told me I was trying to jump out the car. Like I was out of it. Like I definitely didn't want to be. I wanted to go, but I didn't want to go to the hospital.
This is in October of 2020.
Yeah, this is in October.
So from the urgent care emergency room, did Lindsay take you to the hospital?
Yes.
Where did she take you?
St. Dominican, San Martin on Blue Diamond. I think Buffalo.
And did they admit you at San Martin?
Yes.
And by this time, the date they admit you, it's October 12th, 2020, correct?
Yes.
When they admitted you, do you recall that they did blood tests?
Yes. I was trying to get out the chair again, but I ended up relaxing, and they ended up admitting me and taking me upstairs, and they did a CAT scan, they did blood tests. They pumped some dye into my body, I guess for the CAT scan. I was burning. They did a whole bunch of tests to rule out, gallbladder, to rule out a lot of things because they felt, I was 34 at the time, that my liver enzyme shouldn't have been that high.
Shane, can we pull up Exhibit 691, please? On page 163. This is Sorry, that's just the other one, I think, Shane.
You want the original 691?
691, page 163. It's one of the pages I sent you. No. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So, Mr. Botiz mentioned that they did the blood work upon admission on the 12th of October at the San Martin campus of St. Rose Dominican Hospital, and your ALT was 1,498, and your AST was 6,640. Not quite as high as Ms. Arnoni's, but that's pretty high.
For sure.
I'll tell you, I did the math, that the normal range that they were using at this hospital was between 9 and 34. Your AST was 6,640. That's more than 300 times the median number there. What did they tell you about that?
They didn't tell me anything. They just kept testing me. They was trying to figure out why my liver enzymes got that high. So they were trying to rule out everything that they possibly could think it would be. You know, if I was an alcoholic, and you know, I was trying to leave again at that point because it was like a new nurse. She was poking me. I had bruises all over my arm. I'm like, I'm out of here. So I told the doctor, you know, I would like to leave. Like, what's going on? She was like, these are dying numbers. Like, we want to keep you. So what do you want to do?
Did they tell you that you were in liver failure?
Yes, acute liver disease is something like that.
And I think you testified to your aversion to hospitals. I think a lot of people feel the same way. You wanted to leave, and they said, we can't let you leave with these numbers, because these numbers could be fatal. So how long did you end up being admitted to the hospital?
About 2 days.
After those couple days, did you still want to leave the hospital?
Yeah, I just kept asking the doctor, can I leave? I'm not hearing anything. Like I said, it was COVID, so I'm still afraid of being in there for like 14 days. And you know, my girlfriend came, my mom came. I was just uncomfortable being in the hospital for sure, and being sick and not knowing what the hell. Excuse me.
Were you able to leave the hospital eventually?
Yes.
How long were you admitted in the hospital?
I'm not sure. I think 2 days. I told them I would like to leave, so they was like, you know, you're refusing, you know. And like I said, I was just so worried and scared. I said, okay, I just want to go home. They gave me the prednisone and some B vitamins, and I just went home.
Did you leave the hospital because you were feeling better?
No, I was left because didn't want to be in the hospital anymore.
After you left the hospital and went home, did there come a time when you did start to feel a little better?
I started to get better and not better at the same time because they gave me prednisone, which was to shrink my liver, and I was also taking the real water at the same time when I came home. So I don't know if we were in and the water started to leave. You know, we started, you know, empty the bottles to where I stopped drinking them, but I definitely, Lindsay and I ran into the delivery driver as well that delivered our bottles. And he was like, hey man, what's going on? We haven't seen you in a while. And he said it shut down. So that's what made me connect everything, like, okay, something's going on. Like, but before then I was trying to do a hereditary check. I was asking my mom, hey, what does gallbladder feel like? Because she had gallstones before. Did my dad used to drink before? I was trying to figure out how did my liver get that bad.
You learned from the delivery driver that there's been a recall. Is that right? Okay. After you stopped drinking real water, did you start to feel a little better?
Yeah, definitely. I was taking the medicine, B vitamins, they had me on all type of B6 vitamins, and the prednisone to shrink my liver. So that was making me feel a little better for sure.
At the time, did Lindsay or Miley or Melina get sick during this time
They
period?
all got sick. Miley went to the hospital the same as I did to Summerlin. And because I left, she left. You know, because it was following me.
Were any of them as bad as you?
No, they wasn't that bad.
So they all got sick,
I
but
mean, they was all sick. It's just no one wanted to be in the hospital. No one wanted to stay. I just got worse out of all of us.
and how are you doing today?
I'm definitely doing better than I was when I was drinking water for sure.
You met with the plaintiff's medical expert, Dr. Hudson.
Yes.
Dr. Hudson told you to monitor your liver twice a year, liver enzyme test. Is that something that you intend to do?
Yeah, like I said, I'm still kind of afraid because Dr. Pasha, I don't know if you have it, they still want to do a biopsy on my liver. So that's something I'm kind of scared of them getting a piece of my liver, to be honest with you. But I am trying to follow up as much as possible. I have a doctor's appointment September 17th.
You have an interest in continuing to follow the recommended care to do what's best for you, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jeromy. Those are all the questions.
Thank you, sir. Questions on the motion? Thank you. Ms. Ortiz, trouble with you, we got your deposition, for coming today. Again, very sorry that you're wanting to be sick. I want to ask you some questions, it won't be very long. Let me start with kind of your history before 2014, when you started drinking your water. Even before 2014, you had a gastroenterologist, right, a gastro.
Yes.
And you had, for lack of a better word, stomach problems before 2014, right?
Yeah, I think they said irritable bowel syndrome, so I have to take Nexium and Zofran to just calm my stomach down.
Yeah, and Zofran is a pill that will hopefully alleviate nausea and prevent vomiting. Is that your
Yes.
understanding?
Yes, yes, sir.
And you took it before ever drinking real water. It was part of.
Yeah, I was taking that.
Okay. And the Nexium, what does that do for you? Just in general
It's
terms.
an acid blocker.
Okay. And so when you started to get sick, you thought perhaps, hey, this is what I usually go through.
Yeah, like I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and take some more Nexium. Let me double dosage it. Let me put another Zofran under my tongue, and I should be, okay.
And it wasn't working, right? And so the first place that you went, well, first you decided to call your gastro and you get an appointment, right?
Yes, sir.
And it wasn't for like 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
And then I presume things got worse, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you went to Summerlin Hospital first, right? And that was on October 10th?
Yeah, it was a couple days before they admitted me. Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to read from your fact sheet, and if I get something wrong, just let me know. It's not a trick question. I just want to walk you through the different places where you went. So you went to Summerlin on about October 10. You didn't feel comfortable staying there?
No, sir.
Okay. And so you went home?
Yes, sir.
And then the next place, the next day, would have been October 11th. You went to St. Rose Dominican on Blue Diamond.
Yes, sir.
And you're still feeling terrible, for lack of a better word, is that fair?
Yes, sir.
And you've taken the Zofran and it's not working.
No.
And then you're still a little uncomfortable about getting checked in there, or did you, and this is where I wasn't clear, the next place that you went from St. Rose Dominican on Blue Diamond was to St. Rose Hospital, San Martin.
Yes, sir.
Did you go there via ambulance, or did your girlfriend take you?
They take me. They wanted to ambulance, but I was like, no, I don't want to do that at all. So I got a ride outside. I'll go on my own.
Okay, and you were feeling worse at that point, is that true? Okay, and then you were at St. Rose, San Martin for about 2 days.
Yes, sir.
And this would have been, again, October 12th through October 14th, about 2020, right?
Yes.
And after those 2 days, you wanted to go home, is that fair?
Yes.
And so you went home, and was it at that time that you found out that Lindsay and her two girls were sick, or did you find out before that?
We all went to the Summerlin Hospital together.
Okay.
That day, I don't know if that the 10th.
So the very first time that you went to the hospital.
We all went to the emergency room.
And Lindsay and Miley and Melina. So Miley was about 12 at the time,
Melina was 12, Miley was 12 and Melina's the youngest.
was 10. Okay. Again, I have your fact sheets. I'm kind of cheating. I know it's not fair to give you a test on dates and all this. So again, I'm very sorry that Lindsay got sick. I'm sorry that Miley got sick. I'm sorry that Melina got sick. It's terrible. The total bill for your hospital in that time was about $45,000. Is that about right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then, so you got out of the hospital, you had this $45,000 charge, and you basically did self-care at home, right?
No, I followed up with my primary care doctor. This was the doctor wanted me to do is, hey, you're sick, let me give you this prednisone, let me give you this B vitamins, go to your primary care doctor. And that's when you further continue doing blood tests. You know,
Okay.
on my levels.
And were your levels getting better?
Yeah, over time they start to get better.
And so this would have been, you were at the hospital in October, this would have been November, December of 2020?
Yeah, when I see Dr. Pasha, probably like a couple of weeks to follow up to get a doctor's appointment to see him.
Okay. And then you slowly got better, and then in about March of 2021, that's when you learned there'd been a recall from the driver. He was picking up bottles.
I don't remember the date.
But it would have been early 2021, just general time frame to find.
It was around the time we were getting deliveries. I don't know if it was still the year of 2020. I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah.
sure of the dates right now, but I
And that's
know
fine. I'm not
when I
trying
got out of
to.
the hospital is when we did run into him in Walmart. Like, you know, hey, what's
Oh, you just like,
yeah, hey, what's going on? Where's we haven't seen you around. You.
okay, let me stop you there because I appreciate that. And we don't want to get too far into some other things. Then, now currently, well, the prednisone, did that work for you?
Yeah.
Good, okay. And presently, you're following up with your gastro, you're following up with your other physicians, right?
Yes, sir.
And I think when we talked previously, your biggest complaint was you're still having difficulty putting on weight because of the nausea. Is that still
Yeah,
the case?
I still get dizzy when I work out, and it wasn't like that when I had the stomach issues. It's like now I walk. I don't know if I get hot or something like that, and I start getting nauseous. I don't know if it's related, but that's definitely. I lost 15 pounds. I used to weigh 230.
Yeah, very sorry. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Right, what I did for Hanna Instruments, we have no questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Botiz. No questions. Anything else?
Nothing further, thank you, Chairman.
Okay. And, thank you, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're still making good time. I actually think we made up some time. So we're being really efficient. And tomorrow, 10:30. And anyway, you're admonished not to converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected with this trial, or to read, watch, or listen to any report or commentary on the trial, any persons connected with this case, or by any medium of information, including without limitations, newspaper, television, radio, social media, about prohibition. And ask that not raised in a form express on any subject connected with this trial until the cause is finally submitted to you. And we'll be ready to go at 10:30 tomorrow morning.
All rise for the march to adjourn. Thank you. Please be seated.
All right. Anything else, other persons? No, Your Honor. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just said for those appearances.
Will Kemp, Eric Pepperman, and Theodore Parker, plaintiffs.
Bill Odou, Mr. Kaufman, on behalf of Orion Instruments, Lifestyles.com, Inc., and we'll vote this.
Good morning, Your Honor, Scott Rasmussen, I'm Ryan Flanagan on behalf of Hanna Instruments.
Morning, Your Honor, Rob Robbins from Milwaukee Instruments.
All right, is there anything we need to address outside the presence?
Your Honor, a couple of small matters that I needed to go over. We have a motion that was sent to the judge as part of our motions to eliminate with regard to Dr. Michael Motley, who is the plaintiff's witness, I believe, this morning. And we asked for him to be disqualified. I have not seen a minute order come out from the court with regard to that.
As far as him being qualified, we
Disqualified as an expert.
Oh,
Your Honor, you did rule on that motion. It was denied. There was a minute order, I believe, as part of the last group of, you ruled on all the pending motions.
Okay, then I'm sorry, I didn't see that. With that in mind, Your Honor, I know that there is some board hire that I would like to take. I'm just asking procedurally when you want me to do that. Do you do that beginning, the end, never part of my cross-examination?
Because you can have as much board meetings as you want after I get my direct done, which I'm trying to get done efficiently.
okay. And what is the concern? So tee me up so I know what I'm looking for.
I don't know what his concern is, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll figure that out. when I-
No. Tell me what I mean. Is it his qualification?
Yes, and the problems that would be under NRS 50.
What
And
are his qualification problems?
he doesn't have any that would suggest some of the responses that he has. He's not
No,
cited.
from an educational perspective, is there a qualifications issue?
He is qualified as someone who has general knowledge on how to communicate. I can't see that, but there's no technical knowledge on scientific instruments. He has not published
I know
any.
where we're at right now. Okay, I get it.
Okay. So now that you know, I'll wait until my cross-examination. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, I know.
And Your Honor, just on behalf of Milwaukee.
You join?
Milwaukee.
You join? Or no?
Well, yeah, I want to renew the objections that were raised in the motion, just for procedural purposes. I understand the court's made a ruling, so.
Yeah, and for the purposes of the record, you haven't waived that.
Thank you.
I understand. Okay, I get it. Anything else, gentlemen?
Yeah.
All right.
It's 11:22 now. Do you want to back timing on this one?
I would like to get started.
I would like
If we
to-
can finish.
How long is direct going to take, Mr. Kemp?
I'm trying to get it done in 1 to 10 minutes, to be honest, sure.
10 minutes?
That's under 10 minutes.
Yeah. So we will have, and we'll be done with this witness by noon, hopefully. Unless there's significant cross-examination. Let's put a jury in, and I'll listen to his qualifications. I understand there's a hallmark challenge vis-a-vis the qualifications requirement. I'll address that head on, like I always do.
No,
That's what we argued in the motion.
I know.
I know.
Your Honor, can we go to, at least 12:30, because there's a chance we could get 2 witnesses in this morning.
We're gonna do what's convenient, Mr. Parker.
Correct.
And unfortunately, I had, well, you saw.
Yeah, you had a lot.
Yeah.
No worries, Your Honor. And I know the court will defer to the jury in part on this decision about lunch, but I was hoping we could get Dr. Motley and Mr. Haley in today.
I think this jury's ready to, so they'll, whatever, if I make a suggestion regarding, do you want to get one more done before lunch and then break? I know what they're gonna do,
Perfect, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
right? I anticipate they'll want to get it done because this is a hard-working jury.
It is, Your Honor.
I get it.
All rise, Mr. You know?
Trade-off, okay? Is it what's that?
Please be seated.
All right, do the parties stipulate to the presence of a jury?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And so just for the record, I think we have a couple of witnesses we might try to get done this morning. And Mr. Kemp's going to call one witness, that'll be Mr. Kemp.
Dr. Michael Motley.
Right, and Mr. Kemp anticipates his direct might be 15 minutes or less. And then there'll be cross-examination as far as that witness is concerned. And so, and Mr. Parker had an inquiry, and he feels he can get another witness done by 12:30. Is that correct, Mr. Parker?
That's correct, John.
And so, I just wanted to, I always try to tell you what's going on. And so we got a late start today, and the reason for it was nothing the lawyers did. Unfortunately, I have another 800 cases that I have to deal with, right? And so what happens on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, we want to start at 10:30, but sometimes it just takes longer, and that's part of the process. There's nothing you can do about it. It really and truly isn't, but we try to make that up. And so that's what we're going to try to do this morning. Is that correct, counsel?
Sure.
Okay. So are we ready to proceed, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sure.
All right.
Call me.
These washers. I guess, Dan, please stand up and raise your right hand, please.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
May I have you state and spell your name for the record?
I beg your pardon?
May I have you state and spell your name for the record?
Michael Motley, M-I-C-H-E-L-M-O-T-L-E-Y.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Trying to make up some time here, so I'm not gonna talk fast. I'm gonna try to go fast. And Mr. Odou doesn't think I can do it fast?
I think you can, but.
Okay, all right.
We'll see how fast.
Okay. Right? Ready?
Ready.
Go. All right. Would you state your name, please? Michael Motley. And Dr. Motley, where did you attend college?
Bachelor's degree at the University of Texas, master's degree at the University of Texas, PhD at Penn State University.
Okay, and what did you get those degrees in?
Communication.
Can you explain to the jury what that entails?
Well, the bachelor's and master's degrees were sort of general communication. On my PhD, I specialized in psycholinguistics, which is the study of how the mind processes language, both sending and receiving.
And have you published any papers in the fields of communication?
Many,
How many?
80 or 90, I don't remember.
Are they in peer-reviewed journals?
Yes.
After you graduated from, I think it was Penn State, you said?
Correct.
After you graduated from Penn State with your doctorate, what did you do after that?
I taught at Fresno State University for 1 year. I taught at Cal State University, State California at Los Angeles for 8 to 5 years. Then I taught at Ohio State University for 8 to 7 years, and then I taught at University of California, Davis, starting in 1982, and that's where I retired.
And you say you taught what in general did you teach?
I taught courses in communication, of course, semantics, which is the study of meaning and how messages are interpreted. I taught empirical research methods. Communication research is very much like research in psychology and sociology. It involves doing experiments with people and statistical processes and research design and so forth. So I taught courses at the graduate and undergraduate level in that. And then I taught courses in cognition, psycholinguistics. What else? Taught a couple of courses in advertising. Most of my last few years were in interpersonal communication, which is basically the study of communication, unplanned, informal communication between individuals, just everyday, day-to-day communication. Those were the main courses.
And you were retained by the plaintiffs in this case?
Yes.
And you were asked to look at the user manual?
Yes.
Have you looked at the user manual for the Milwaukee?
Yes.
Walk meter? And do you have an opinion as to whether or not the user manual gives an inadequate warning with regards to the risk of dangerous product. Do you have any opinion on this? And tell the jury what your opinion is. My opinion is that it does a very poor job of communicating about the need to condition the probe. It doesn't, because it says absolutely nothing about that. It does a poor job of communicating about how to condition the probe, because there's not a single word about that. And it gives no indication, very poor communication about the consequences of not conditioning the probe. Because it says absolutely nothing about any of those.
And why is it important to communicate the consequences of conditioning the probe?
My understanding is that when one is trying to take a negative reading and the probe isn't conditioned properly, that one gets inaccurate readings unless either very, very, very slow or inaccurate readings.
Thank you, Dr. Martin.
Getting that way.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's in that order. Shane, that's what you're.
And we're having cross-examination, is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, that's okay, may I approach?
No, you're fine, I just want the jury to know, that's why I asked those questions.
Yes.
Quick ask, yes, sure. Thank you.
I didn't ask them earlier, and I failed to ask.
Yes, sir, you're
I knew that they weren't gonna ask any questions, they did forget my pen. And, thank you, Pat. Dr. Motley, have you ever produced any publications during the time that you were a professor on consumer goods and warning labels?
No. Well, actually, I did do one publication that had to do with warnings, but it was late in my career.
Is that when you were retained as an expert witness?
No, it was before that.
What was it on? Fumegate?
Pardon me?
Fume Great? Is that the one?
No, I did a chapter in a book on doing experiments to test opinions in the courtroom, and there were several examples in there having to do with warnings.
Have you ever been in the laboratory?
Have I been in a laboratory?
Yes, doing work, research.
Hired? No, as a student, of course.
So only when you were a student, that was in high school?
High school and college.
You finished college in 1965?
Yes.
Do you know when warp meters were first introduced as technology?
No.
Do you know anything about an warp meter?
Only what I've learned since I was retained to this case.
So you've never used an warp meter?
I tried the one that was sent to me, but no, I have no professional experience with ORP.
And so it's your opinion that the conditioning of the warp meter, though, even though having never used it, never conditioned it, never done anything with it, was somehow defective, correct?
That's my understanding from reading depositions.
Do you believe the warp meter is defective itself?
Beg your pardon?
Do you believe the warp meter itself is defective? Or you can't even give that opinion, right?
That's not my area of specialty, no.
So you can't give an opinion that whether or not it's defective?
That's correct.
You show I think it's exhibit 187. I'm going to bring this to you, if that's okay with the court. That's 187.
No, that's fine.
I just want to make sure I've got your permission. You've seen that before,
Yes.
Mr. Motley? Dr. Motley, excuse me. Top instruction says, well, operator's instructions for MW500 electrode prep for getting negative work readings. Didn't you just testify that there was never anything provided in the box? Or could you just hand me the Milwaukee MW500 box about negative work readings?
No,
You didn't say that.
no. I said there was nothing on the instruction manual.
So you think it should be an instruction manual, not just on a tip card that's provided in a box?
Absolutely.
You need something more than that.
Absolutely.
Do I need anything on the probe itself?
That would be helpful.
Do you know what would happen if we put ink, adhesives, and things like that onto the probe meter?
There's ink right now on the top of the probe meter where the handle is, so
So the handle, right?
Yes.
what about the probe itself? Do you know what would happen if we put ink and adhesive and things like that on that?
No,
You're not a chemist, right?
correct.
You think you could have an impact on it, a negative impact on it?
What good?
You don't know. Do you know what impact it could have if you put ink on a probe or put adhesives on it?
I don't. I assume you're talking about my claim that it would be helpful to have a warning somewhere where the user could see it.
Okay.
And one could do a raised embossed,
Right.
that I don't know about ink, but there is already ink on the top of the thing. So I assume that it's safe to do printing on the probe itself, at least the handle of the probe. I don't know what you call the parts. There wasn't any specifications showing the names of the parts in the manual, so I don't know what you call it.
Based on your review of the Milwaukee 4P meter, did you find it to be difficult to use?
I'm not even sure if I used it right, but no, I didn't find it particularly difficult, but I don't know if I got that.
You've read this tip card?
Pardon me?
You've read this tip card?
Yes,
You didn't find it difficult to understand?
yes.
Is that because you're not a chemist?
No, it's because I think there's superfluous information in it.
Superfluous, can you define that for me?
Yes, I think there's a lot of information that is not necessary if one wants to use this card to warn people.
Okay.
It's important to get important to condition the probe for negative reading and how to do it.
On the side of the box, can you show me that exhibit? Mark, it was right here. What's the exhibit number?
089.
7089.
It can't be shown into the books.
What?
It can't be shown into.
I thought it was omitted. Any objection
Objection by.
to that slide on the warning on the side box?
No objection.
Scott, you need Nick and Deidre.
I'd like to, if you guys are good with that.
Sure. I don't know if I want to do it now,
I need it to be just easier to skip done. Is that okay?
but I did my 3 minutes 41.
All right. I know you're trying to get me to do that thing.
Mhm.
If we, with no objection, can we have this submitted?
No objection, Your Honor. No objection.
Okay, we need to mark it though. and
I will hand it to her for my.
Yeah, I mean, and identify, I guess, for
Put
that.
it in the exhibit number. Instead of just this exhibit number, exhibit number.
7089.
Thank you.
Can you show the side of the box again? Dr. Marley, did you see this warning on the box?
Yes,
Did you read it?
yes.
Did you have criticisms of it?
I have criticisms of it in terms of giving information about needing to condition the probe for negative reading, but that's not the intention of this warning.
Okay, do you have, let me ask you again, maybe I'm not making myself clear. Do you have any criticisms of this particular warning?
Not with respect to what I was asked for an opinion on, no.
Do you know if anyone at Real Water practiced safe laboratory practices?
No,
Would Real Water's the purchaser of this portable meter? Should they have followed this warning?
I don't know, let's see. Well, I think persons knowledgeable in safe laboratory practices isn't completely clear, but this is a warning about how to keep from damaging the meter.
So I just,
So what are you asking me?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This seems to be a warning about how to prevent damage to the instrument. And if you're asking me, would it be helpful to practice this to avoid damage to the instrument? I don't know, but my guess is probably yes.
You don't know much about the instrument to know whether or not damage is good or bad.
I don't know what causes damage to an ORC meter, no, I don't.
So back in the first sentence, should Real Water adhere to that warning that says the enclosed product is intended for use by persons knowledgeable in safe laboratory practice?
It's saying that's what it's intended for,
Right? And what the use is for?
yes.
Okay? So with that Would someone that has knowledge on safe laboratory practices, should that sort of person be the person that uses this meter?
Yes, but even that person would need to be informed about the need to condition the probe for negative reading. That's what I was asked for an opinion on.
Okay. Did you review deposition transcripts in this case?
I beg your pardon?
Did you, I apologize, I said it too quickly now. Did you review any deposition transcripts in this case?
Yes.
Did you review the deposition transcript of the inventor, John Marlowe?
I don't recall that one.
Mr. Marlowe is the inventor, maybe it's a refresher recollection, of the real water product. Does that refresh your recollection as to who Mr. Marlowe is?
I'm sorry, I don't remember that one.
Do you know if he was a chemist?
No.
Did you review?
Is he the one who tested the material on himself?
Yes.
Okay, I'm vaguely familiar with that, but I don't remember his definition.
Would testing the product on yourself, not this product, but the real water product, would you consider that to be safe laboratory practices?
Objection, calls for speculation. I'll sustain
It's
it.
outside my area.
Was sustained.
I'll sustain.
Do you know what the word surface damage means?
In the case of an oat reader, no, I would have to only guess.
Improper pressure?
We're talking about improper pressure can cause damage to the machine, so imagine running over it with a car tire, but I don't know how much pressure.
That would certainly damage it, I will concede that for sure. Mr. Motley. The question is, would someone who has and understands safe laboratory practices understand what surface damage is, improper pressure or temperature, or use with improper chemicals?
Your Honor, I'd like to make just a general objection as to beyond the scope. This is a warnings expert. He's talking about damage to the actual implement, the instrument itself. That's way beyond the scope of this witness. And I appreciate the earlier objection, but Mr. Rasmussen is not talking about warnings, instructions in terms of conditioning or observation.
Okay.
I'll sustain.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you look at any instructions on other ORP meters manufactured by other people, other companies?
I didn't study any, no.
So you did no comparisons between this and this particular meter and something else?
I think I was shown a picture of somebody else's meter that had some writing on the side, but I didn't study it, no.
The evidence has shown that Real Water used pH meters and TDS meters. Did you look at their instructions?
No.
Let's look at this particular card. We'll go back to it right now. ORP meters will read positive ORP solutions right out of the box with no or little preparation. Did I read that correctly? I went quick, I know.
I think so.
But, and I apologize because I need readers as well, so that's my mistake. When a negative ORP reading is desired, this usually applies to a health, medical, water quality environment created by a machine. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
The super negative readings generated by these machines are below negative 50 and can go as low as negative 800 millivolts. Do you know what a millivolt is?
Fraction of a volt. I'm not an electrician or a chemist, no.
So when you were reading this particular tip card and there was a term that you didn't understand, did you go out and try to figure out what it meant?
No, I assume that the meter measures in volts, just like a tire meter can measure in PSI, and you don't know what PSI means.
Okay. To effectively read pounds per square inch, you don't know what that means?
I do.
Okay.
But I think somebody can use the tire gauge without knowing.
Okay. To effectively read a negative ORP state of water, the platinum probe used in most ORP meters must be oxidized. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Did you not understand that sentence?
Yes, and I think that's really the only thing that needs to be said in that paragraph. If you're trying to highlight to people that you need to do something special to get a negative reading in this. So I think all of that stuff at the beginning could cause a reader to stop reading because it's sort of superfluous. You know, what this needs to say, if it's going to be a proper warning, is to slap the reader in the face, basically, and say warning, not operation instructions, but warning. You can get, it's difficult to get a negative reading, an accurate negative reading, and in order to get one, here's what you need to do, period.
Okay, so on this particular tip card, negative ORP readings is capitalized, correct?
Yes.
It's in red,
Right.
correct? It's at a different font size, correct? It's underlined, correct?
Yes.
Doesn't slap you in the face. It doesn't, I agree with you, it does not slap anyone in the face, physically, right? But that's not enough?
I don't think so. To qualify as a warning, it might be enough to qualify for operator's instructions, which is what this is.
Right, and on the warning, side of the warning, the warning on the side of the box says, to be used by someone who understands safe laboratory practices. Isn't that correct?
Right?
Right there.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes.
It does say that, okay. Would someone who understands what negative ORP readings understand what this means, in your opinion, or do you know, are you qualified to tell me that?
Understand what this on
Yeah.
the box means or what this means?
What the tip card means?
Okay, so ask it again, please.
Would somebody who understands safe laboratory practices understand what this tip card means?
Well, it's quite possible that somebody who understands safe laboratory practices in other areas could understand safe laboratory practices for context A and not understand ORP meters, yes.
Would someone who understands safe laboratory practices make sure that they had read all of the instructions, warnings, and other written material with regard to the products and instruments, scientific instruments that they're going to use?
Quite possibly, but we don't know that that person ever got to see this card because the information that needs to be read is not in the manual.
It's in the box though, right?
It used to be in the box.
Is it still in the box? Do you know if it's not shipped out today? Is that what you're trying to tell the jury?
No, I'm trying to say that this is not a good way to do a warning because the user may never see it. Because the person who opens the box may not be the person who uses the product.
Do you know where this particular card is placed in the box?
Right on top of it, on mine, the one I got.
Well, I have, thank you.
I need that box.
I will give it to you.
Here's the code.
No.
Mr. Robbins, sir.
I'll be brief. Good afternoon, Dr. Motley.
How do you get?
I'm doing good. You'd agree with me that the MW500 and the Pro is not an inherently dangerous product, correct?
I think I would agree with that.
It doesn't have a saw blade that's gonna come out and get you, or, you understand what I mean?
Potentially poking the eye, but I agree that it's not.
You could poke yourself in the eye with it, sure. Okay. And in that sense, the MW500, the meter, and I'm just talking about the meter, it's a measurement tool, correct?
Correct.
And same thing with the Pro, it's a measurement tool, correct?
Correct.
And do you agree with me that the MW500 and the Pro, that it carries a minimal risk to the user, the person using the Pro, or using the meter and the Pro?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And you said, I don't think I need to beat you up on it, you're not a meter expert, correct?
Correct.
You're not a mechanical engineer of any kind, correct?
Correct.
Did you review any expert reports in this matter?
Yes.
Do you know who you reviewed, because I didn't see that in the report. Let me
Somebody
ask you specifically. Did you
Somebody
look
with
at-
an F. Somebody whose last name starts with an F.
Oh, Fortenbaugh?
Yes.
How about Dr. Najim, does that ring a bell?
I don't think so, I don't remember.
And you're not aware of what Dr. Najim testified in this courtroom, correct?
No, that's when we get back.
Did you do any analysis of bottled water companies in general?
No.
Do you know, with regard to the real water product, at what stage hydrazine is formed in the manufacturing process?
I am not sure. My understanding is that hydrazine is formed when that, what's it called, secret concentrate is added, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
You don't know, correct?
I don't know for certain. We've got a lot of stuff, and it's hard to keep it.
So you don't know if the hydrazine was formed before an ordinator is even used, correct?
I don't know for certain, no.
So I want a quick clarification. We talked about the tip card. I don't need to throw it back up there, but your criticism is that there's too much information on there?
My criticism is that it would be, I've got several. One is, it's not the proper mode, it's not the proper medium for a warning, because it's quite possible that the user of the meter might never see this, because it's not in any way attached to the meter and it's not part of the instruction manual. So that's number one criticism. Number two criticism is that it doesn't come across as a warning. It comes across as operator instructions. Number three criticism is that if you want to highlight that it's important to condition the probe if you are trying to get a negative reading. If you want to highlight that, then I think it's badly written.
Okay. You agree that, I think you said this, it's very conspicuous when you open the box, correct?
I agree with that.
Okay. It's right there on top, right?
Right.
It has capital bold red letters, correct? And what's in capital bold red letters is negative org readings, correct?
Correct.
And then you believe it's giving them too much information. Is that, I'm just trying to boil down, is it too much information that we gave to the customer? Is that your problem?
It's not enough information because it's not given in the right way. The information needs to be given in the instruction manual, in the user's manual, excuse me. And this is the kind of thing that I open a box, I want to get to the instrument, I want to get down to the toy, I'm throwing away the wrapping stuff, I'm throwing away the foam that's in there, I'm throwing away, quite possibly throwing away this. Let me get to the toy and let me get to the instructor's manual. That's my criticism of this. It's quite possible that the user never sees this. Especially, even if the user is the one who opens the box, but especially if the user is not the one who opens the box.
It's right on top, right?
It's right on top.
Okay, thanks. No more questions.
Your Honor. This is the user manual.
Yes.
That piece of paper, the gift card, whatever it's called, that's not the user manual.
No, it's not.
And does the user manual have adequate information in it?
No.
Thank you.
No, nothing further.
I just want to make sure you're right. You're released.
As we've established, I took 341 from Mr. Rasmussen for 1559, so I'm 5 times as suspicious as Mr. Rasmussen. Proof. Wow.
A little bit, a little bit. Right here.
You're still winning on the open.
Okay, I'm still winning on the open, right?
All right. And any issue we'll talk about when we go to lunch.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes. And at this time, is the plaintiff going to call their next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Plaintiff call Mr. Haley. Please stand and please come out.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? May I have you state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Keith Haley, Keithhaley.
Thank you.
Just, questions now, so
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Doing okay? Good. Felt like I've been away from you guys for a long time, although I've been just sitting right there. I had no time to talk. Mr. Haley, how are you?
I'm all right.
Good. And so I will just say up front, Mr. Haley's very shy, and this is his first time. So I'm gonna get you on and off, Mr. Haley, okay?
Can I, Mr. Parker, can I ask him to just pull the mic a little bit closer to you, because you're very soft spoken. Thank you.
So Mr. Haley, we're gonna jump right into it, right? It's the meat and potatoes of this case for you, okay?
Okay.
So it's my understanding you were in the hospital at Renown Hospital in Reno, is that correct?
Correct.
You live in Reno, correct?
Yes.
All right. And how long were you in the hospital?
For about a week.
What were you told to be your diagnosis in the hospital?
Acute liver failure.
And have you determined, or has a physician told you what caused your acute liver failure?
No.
When you were admitted to the hospital, had you been drinking real water for several months before that?
Yes.
Okay, what made you want to drink real water?
Well, it was a new product on the shelf, and it was an attractive label. It was on sale, and whenever I see a new product, I just have to try it, you know. And so I bought the water and I drank it, and thinking that it's, you know, some extra special water.
Did you like the name Real Water?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, I thought it was kind of funny. You know, when I drank it, I made the joke several times that, hey, look, it's real water. It's not fake.
I did the same thing. First time you told me that. And so, Mr. Haley, you got this real water as opposed to fake water. And you're taking it, when do you recall when you started taking real water?
Well, about the springtime of 2019, April, May.
Okay. And between April, May, when you started drinking your real water, when you saw it on the shelves, did you continue drinking it periodically until you went to the hospital in August of 2019?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's my understanding you were drinking somewhere between 4 to 6 liters a week.
The first time I saw it, the first time I saw it on the shelf, I believe it was on sale, which is also part of the reason why I would have bought it, you know, to save a little money. And I drank it more frequently, you know, that first time I bought it, when I first saw it, and then periodically after that.
Yes, sir. And just so that people know why you saw it on the shelves, what do you do for them?
I work at Whole Foods.
And how long do you work at Whole Foods?
Since 2008.
And what do you do at Whole Foods?
I'm a cashier and also bagger on the front end, retrieve carts, bag groceries.
Yes, sir. Now, since you were in the hospital for roughly 6 days, I believe August 13th to the 19th, is that correct?
Yes.
Could you bring up Exhibit 685 for me, Shane? And so I showed, ladies and gentlemen, you may remember these lab results during my open. And see, I see here in red your ALT scores and your AST scores. You see those?
That's not with me.
Oh, I'm sorry. We stipulated to 685.
Okay, thank
So
you.
we,
Shall be admitted. Is that stipulated?
Agreed.
thank you, Tori. Thank you. So, again, these are your ALT and AST scores. Did the doctor indicate while you were in the hospital that those scores were high?
Yeah, so when I went to urgent care on the 13th of August, the lady who did my labs, who tested my blood, and come back, when I was waiting, she had come into the room and said that she had never seen liver this high, and said that I need to go to the emergency room like, right away, and that they were expecting me. She told them that I was coming over.
So you went from the urgent care at Renown to the actual emergency room at Renown?
Yes.
Okay. And when you got to the emergency room, what were you told about the condition of your liver?
They said my liver was failing, and that I had hepatitis, which means inflammation of the liver.
And did the doctor speak to you about your general condition, given your liver failure?
They did.
And what were you told?
Well, I was told, I spoke to several doctors, and, excuse my language, but one doctor had said that basically your liver's pissed off and we don't know why.
And when you got to the hospital, were you drinking real water in the hospital?
No.
Were you given any type of fluids while you were in the hospital?
I was hooked up to an IV bag like the whole time I was there.
And while you were getting the IV and not drinking real water, did your AST and ALT levels start decreasing?
They did.
And so after 6 days, did it decrease to the point where you could be released from the hospital?
Yes.
And after leaving the hospital, did you have to go in for laboratory tests of your liver function?
I did.
And it's my understanding that you took at least 5 lab tests in between September, October, and finally December before your ALT and AST normalized. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, again, we're going to go with in reverse order. What symptomology led you to go to the urgent center?
Well, I, in May 28, 2019, I was feeling dizzy and unwell. While taking a shower, I passed out in the shower. My girlfriend, she heard the fall, and she came to, check on me, and found me passed out in the shower and woke me up. I was confused. I said, "Why'd you wake me up? I'm sleeping." And she said, "In the shower?"
Most people don't do it.
Yeah, so at that point, we went to the emergency room where I just had stayed overnight and left early in the morning. But they never, said anything about like why I was there, what put me there.
And they never did any liver function tests on you?
No.
Perfect. And so then let's fast forward to August, before you went to the renowned urgent center on August 13th. What were your symptoms in August?
Well, between, from that point, May, June, July, August, I started feeling worse and worse. The loss of appetite, the dry heaving, and nausea, the fatigue, very fatigued, headaches, and general, pain all, through my body. The jaundice, my girlfriend, I first started the jaundice in my eyes, and my girlfriend noticed. And, she kept telling me that something's wrong. I was trying to talk about it, I didn't want to go to the hospital. I didn't want to get to her. But then the jaundice got worse until eventually my skin was jaundice. And one day I had gone into work, on the 13th, in the morning I got into work, not feeling good at all. And I looked in the mirror and thought, man, I look terrible. And that's when I said, told my boss, I need to go. I need to go to the hospital. Something's terribly wrong with me. So, I went home, and my girlfriend took me to urgent care. And then from urgent care, we went directly to the emergency room.
Now, when you say jaundice, you're talking about a yellowish hue in your eyes and your skin?
Yes.
Okay. And you keep mentioning your girlfriend. Is that Jessica you're referring to?
Yes.
And I think you've been with her 10 years?
Yeah, for more than 10 years.
Huh. After leaving the hospital, did you have to take time away from work before you felt normal?
Took 3 weeks off.
Now, it's,
And can we approach?
oh, certainly.
Hey, counsel, thank you.
When we left off, we were talking about your girlfriend Jessica, 10 years with her, and she was the one who was kind of running you around to the hospital and everything, all that. And then you took 3 weeks off at work before you got feeling like yourself, correct? All right. Now, you met with Dr. Hudson over the phone, you did an interview.
Yes.
You call that? And you discussed with him your medical care and condition, correct?
Yes.
All right, and the history that you've given here, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, Dr. Hudson said that you would have to continue receiving labs either annually or semi-annually. Would you do so to continue checking your liver function?
I plan to do this, yes.
I think that's all I have for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Parker, for
Thank you.
examination.
Mr. Haley, I guess it's good afternoon. Ability for real water again. Very sorry that drinking real water made me sick. Just really briefly, currently today, how are you doing?
I'm doing better.
Yeah, I imagine that hearing you testifying in front of a jury is not something you want to do. I totally get that.
Yeah. It's,
Other than your nervousness, possible nervousness of being here today, you're doing better.
correct.
Okay. And you plan to follow up and have your liver function tested whenever the doctors tell you to do so in the future?
Absolutely.
And it's currently normal then,
I,
to the best of your knowledge?
to the best of my knowledge, yes.
And your total medical bills are about $37,000. Does that sound right to you?
Correct, yes.
Mr. Haley, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Odou.
No questions, Ron.
Mr. Robin,
Mr. Haley, no questions.
okay. Anything else, Mr. Parker?
That is it. Thank you so much, Ron.
Okay, sir, you
Thank
need
you.
to step down.
Judge, the next video is about an hour long. I don't know if you want to go to lunch now, watch half of it.
We're gonna ask the jury what they want to do. That's right? But thank you for queuing that up for us and letting them know what the decision will be. Last but not least, for the witness before this one, we did have one question from panel member number 9. And ma'am, I decided not to ask a question based upon an evidentiary issue. Just want to let you know that. But we'll mark it as next in line. Regarding, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to lunch now, or do you want to watch half the video and then go to lunch? Or do you want to watch the whole video? It's consensus.
This means half, and this means whole. Okay.
I think consensus is it convenient to break it up to 30 minutes?
We will make it convenient, Your Honor. I'm going to look for both parties.
All right, that's what we'll do.
Who we call it? Bush. Yeah, we call Mike Bush by video.
Okay.
Right, you're raise your right hand in this one. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth, nothing but the truth? The whole truth? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do. Okay. Can you tell me can you describe your educational background, please?
Yeah, military training, and let's see, I went to college, some college. Let's see, I'm an adjuster now, I've got an adjuster's license, that's about it. Also with Nestle, I worked for Nestle for many years. Yeah.
Okay, when did you graduate from high school?
A couple of years ago, 1983, June 83.
And after that, you went into the military?
That's right. I went in the military, no, I went up to 85. 85, got out in 2006. Reserve and active duty after that, more than 25 years.
Okay, so you were in the military for approximately 20 years?
Right, 22 years actually, total time.
And which branch?
Started off in Navy Reserves and then went National Guard. After that, I wanted to get activated for active Army.
Okay, so how long were you in the active Army?
About 5 years, I'd say 5 years.
Where were you stationed?
I was in Stockton, California and Sacramento, California for force protection after that went home.
And after you left the military in 2006, what did you do?
Well, I was working for Nestle up to that since 88. I worked for Nestle from 88 all the way till 2014. So I left Nestle to let me come right back to work. And I was production supervisor for Nestle Evaporating Milk Plant in Nestle, California at that time. I had been distribution center supervisor before that. I went back there to Nestle in Nestle, California. Worked out for about 6 months and I was promoted into a SAP implementation team for Nestle Foods USA and did that. And I went to Nestle Water Company. Did that for about 6 months. They were in the middle of SAP implementation, had some trouble. Helped them out with that, myself and like 14 people around the country. And then went to Nestle Purina in St. Louis, Missouri. Did that, and then was commuting every week back and forth to St. Louis, California. So I've been moving back to California and worked for Dryer's Ice Cream in Bakersfield, California. I was a pre-manufacturing supervisor. Then I got hired out with Johnson & Johnson Diversity Chemical Company, being sales and sales rep for California from Bakersfield up to the border of Oregon, California. I did that until Sealed Air Corporation bought us, bought the diversity end of the California division. And at that point, I worked for iCrack, startup company in San Francisco.
And did that take us up to real water?
I just went out. I met my wife in San Francisco. We flew to Vegas to get married. 2 months later, we decided to move to Vegas. And I moved to Vegas October of 2018. I did move there without any work, and I got hired out at Real Water, I think right beginning of November, I believe, and left Real Water. That was 2018, left Real Water in April, and May at the latest in 2019, so.
Okay, so you were with Real Water from November 2018 to April 2019, correct?
Right, it might be May, but I'm pretty sure it was April.
Okay, so what time period were you involved with Nestle Waters as opposed to the foods or the other branches?
It was a very short amount of time, let's say, probably, maybe around January of 2007 2007. Maybe January 2008 to maybe March 2008. Plus or minus a few months there, I think, a month.
And what was your job position?
We implementation team, SAP, we're just helping them get the system up and going because they didn't do proper training. And Nestle Waters is a division, and we should show them how to receive product in container ships outside of Long Beach and New Jersey. That way you come in, they could receive them properly in the system. So we just show them how to get them received in the system, working shipping and receiving coordinators.
Okay. Was that a quality control function or a?
No quality control with the water part.
And with regards to the different type of Nestle's waters, I think you mentioned Perrier is one of them.
Right, Perrier, San Pellegrino, Nestle Waters at that time, and then of course the secure Nestle Water you see at Walmart, type of thing. And Arrowhead Water, there's one up in Ozark Water, maybe Coleman Springs.
Okay.
Different brand they have over in Florida too.
Okay, but basically it was it did involve quality. You weren't in the factories where the water was made or bottled. doing quality control. Is that?
The only factory I was in is in the, it's in Ontario, California, Arrowhead. No quality control, just walk through the plant with the sugar and receiving parts.
Okay. All right. How did it come to your attention that a job position was opened at Water in November 2018?
Let's see, in my, maybe Indeed or something like that. I think I was really hotly looking for jobs when I got here. Interviewed all over the place, and I walked into the front counter and some human resource lady or somebody said, "You might make a good fit." I mean, come in, I think I was with Amy Jones. She interviewed me, I think Blaine Jones might have interviewed you.
Okay, and would this have been at the DI location?
Excuse me?
Would this interview have been at the Desert Inn location?
Desert Inn, right, I was going to go for that, that's correct.
Okay, so you were interviewed by Amy Jones and maybe Blaine Jones, correct?
Right, maybe, I'm pretty sure Blaine, because I reported him eventually. Amy was the main decider.
Okay, and what job position, if any, were you applying for?
Production manager was open, so I applied for that one.
Do you know who the previous production manager was?
I don't know who the previous one. I didn't. I just took over. They didn't have one at the time. I think Obed was like the lead. The lead person and everything. The production manager for the whole place. So maybe there was not someone there before me for a couple of years. So. But I didn't meet the previous person.
Does the name Shani Castillo sound familiar?
Yes. Yeah, I think Shani Castillo. I don't know if she was production. She was doing something there, but she was pretty sharp on it. But I don't. She was still there doing some other details there. I'm not for sure if she was or not. If you wanted to be, I'm not sure.
Okay, she was working there at Real Water at the time you worked there, correct?
Right, she was there. I remember seeing her. I think she had a job somewhere else.
Were you hired as a production manager?
Yes, it was. Or as enough. Yes.
Did you serve as production manager until you departed in April or May of 2019?
It served until I think beginning of April, something like that, and then they wanted to keep me on there. They liked me, and I ended up doing 5-gallon HOD sales. Did that for like 2 or 3 weeks, and convictions weren't very clear how I was paying it, so I ended up driving left after that.
Okay, so you only worked at the 5-gallon HOD sales for approximately 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, right, if that, right, it was really, I mean, it's operation, right?
Who took your place as production manager?
Amy Jones did, because she said they couldn't afford to keep me there anymore, the production was down. And the same thing out the controller was taken over by Blaine Jones, and they let go within a day or so of me after, something like that.
Okay, in general, what were your duties and responsibilities as production manager?
The duties and responsibility, running a crew, small crew, I think it was 10 to 14, something like that. And I think I worked both shifts, there was the first and the second shift. And this bottling line, and they were making cases. Some of the people were making cases in the case machine. They weren't always perfect, so they put some glue on them. After the bottles went into the cases, the whole team on hand was gluing them up. Make sure the labeler was always working right. Just make sure production had a goal every day. I don't know what the goal was here exactly was. But I kind of used some of my nesting experience, kind of pop people up in there. Let's go. And get some rewards or whatever. So we got a luncheon for them, I think, for maybe some goals, maybe more like a team environment there instead of top-down environment. Did that. And I did this, what's the PH Pro? We probably have it. I think Milwaukee was there. Someone's there.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I ordered the Milwaukee things, and what else did I do? I think Blaine had me put some money in the bank once in a while. It was kind of my duties doing that. We made sure all the machinery is working right, reported to Blaine if anything was going wrong on there, if we needed more water. I get Blaine, didn't want us doing that on our own, but to a special little water room. We had like a little cabinet, like a locker. When we got to that portion, we went to open the locker, it's no you read. That's a proprietary blend thing, whatever you type going on. But I did my job was also doing the pH probes of this meter. And I was testing the water. It's supposed to be every couple hours, every hour, I forgot exactly what it was, either myself or Ben was doing that. And that was just verifying the pH levels in the water.
All right, let's break it down then. You said there were 2 shifts?
At the time, there were 2 shifts. They were trying to go 3 shifts. I forgot if we did that for a while or not. Right, at least 2 shifts.
And can you tell me the approximate times of each shift?
I believe it was 5 a.m. Actually made the schedules. I don't have my email anymore for that. I think it was 5 a.m. to midday, and then midday to 8 hours. I believe it was 8 hours each one.
So you think it was 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then 1 p.m. to 9 p.m.?
I believe that sounds about right.
Okay. And you said you worked both shifts. Is that correct?
I worked the middle shift. I worked both. I worked in the middle. I came in, I was home around, I think 5 p.m. or so. Sometimes I came in later. Somebody had trouble. I stayed at the very end.
So you were there approximately 9 to 5 during the day?
Pretty much, right? Pretty much.
5 days a week, 6 days a week?
5 days a week, 6 days a week if needed.
So during the time period you were there, November 2018 to April 2019, what types of products were being produced in the terms of 1 millimeter, 5 millimeter, 5 gallon? What types of products were being produced on your assembly line?
I don't know if you have pictures of those things in there somewhere, but the main majority, the one you see in Costco, it's the main one we ran all the time. There's a smaller one, a little bit smaller one. I was overseeing that. Once in a while, we ran the 5 gallons in a separate room. And then Blaine eventually put up another special 5 gallon area near the restroom in the back on the side of it. But I was watching over the main caseable items for Costco. That was the biggest customer at the time.
Okay. And Costco was not buying 5 gallon jugs, were they? Or were they buying 5 gallon?
No, not when I was there. I don't remember any Costco stuff.
Okay, now there's been some testimony that there were 2 production lines and then they were expanded to 3. How many were when you were there?
Boy, I was doing the one line in the main room. There's another room. We didn't get to work that well. It's a 5 gallon in the little room. There was talk of making that a larger, maybe moving that to 5 gallons to probably another room outside of that. So there's one main line, but it would switch out. It would change the bottling configuration to handle the smaller bottles. Squash them down a little bit. That wasn't me as our mechanic that was set up on that, but I would be watching that one.
Okay, so you had one line during the time you were there, correct?
One line of regular consumer product, right?
Okay, and you made 1 liter bottles, correct?
1 liter bottles, and there was a smaller one, I forget what it was, about half the size of the.
Okay.
There was also one monster size we made too, a larger than that. We made the 1 liter, so I think 3 different sizes.
Okay, but they were all bottles,
All bottles.
as opposed to the 5 gallon jugs.
Right. They were doing the 5 gallon jugs, and I oversaw that in the back, and machines weren't working that well back there. Blaine was kind of watching over that part of it.
Now, when you made both the 1 liter and the other bottle sizes in the 5 gallon jugs, did you use the same concentrate for both of them?
Yes, it all came out of the same containers. I saw some pictures of that same, just piped over down.
Okay, so we've been told that the concentrate was pre-made. Is that your recollection?
Well, like I said, it was a special room in the back, and when you want to make it, you turn on a couple valves, regular PVC valves you see up in sprinklers, that type of thing, and they ran into a little like a cabin you see in a high school or something like that. Went on one side, came out the other side, and I wanted to see it. He said, no, it's just like the KFC special ingredients, proprietary. He guessed it, so that's okay. So I don't know exactly what was going on in that whole thing, what was being added to it, or
Okay,
It's an electrical system, I'm not for sure what happened there, but,
so you were not involved in the concentrate mixing process, correct?
well, obviously.
And you don't, okay, and you don't know what chemicals they were using, if any, in the concentrate?
Well, I know they had our team, Obed, go up to the top of this drum, right before the volley line. And I think it was sodium bicarbonate. It's like, just something like a little bit, with a spoonful or something to put on top. Walk up there to the ladder, open this little, like a little lid, spill it in there. Every once in a while, I don't know for sure what Obed's direction was on that, but he worked with Lane, how often I got put. I did order it on Amazon, because we're trying to sit and lay out there.
And that was done after you added the concentrate to the water, correct?
Right after whatever process came, the water went these huge containers, and then we pumped over to this little smaller drum right for the volley room, and that smaller drum, when it filled up, a bed or another lead would just dump in some on the top of it.
And was the concentrate made every 6 to 8 months?
I think it's more often than that when we were running.
Okay.
Not heavy out there.
Was it
was a week, maybe, I think, possibly.
It wasn't made daily, correct?
I didn't see it being made daily, though.
You think it was made weekly or monthly?
Not monthly, I was probably weekly, and we had, I think, 3 or 4 containers, so the drums would sit there. They empty one out, production wasn't that fast, so the drums would just sit there full.
Okay, but other than Blaine Jones, no one else made the concentrate?
No, it was his baby there.
Now, with regards to the concentrate at the Desert Inn location, the same concentrate was used for the 5 gallon jugs made at Desert Inn as well as the 1 liter in the other bottles, correct?
As part of the ore, yes. Maybe Blaine give you a better specific scientific detail on that.
Yes.
I was mainly watch over production, make some things flow right, people showing up on time. Resource issues, whatever else there, we took a lot of people from jails, whatever, for furlough type things.
You hired a lot of people from jails?
I didn't, but yeah, they did. That was a good system I think they had. We had a few issues here and there, but I dealt with it. Yeah, that wasn't all the people, believe me. I don't want to sound like it's, hey, it's 95, maybe 5-10% of the people there.
Okay.
Good workers, good work.
Prior to working on the real water production line, had you ever worked on a food or water production?
Oh, yes, for sure. And Nestle evaporated milk plant, we did that. I oversaw the whole operation there from start to finish. They brought in the 21 trucks a day of raw milk, and with their homogenizer, evaporators, sterilizer, they get canned, and they get put in the sterilizer that goes up, and it gets onto a bidirectional machine, and then it gets labeled, packed, and shipped. I was going to watch a little bit. There was a whole quality control team, lab team that did the testing of it.
Okay, and that was a Nestle milk plant, correct?
The only Nestle evaporated milk plant. If you ever make pumpkin pie, that was one application.
And other than the Nestle milk plant, had you ever worked on a food or water plant line before coming to real water?
Oh, reaching back there. No, never worked on the line. Hold on a second, hold on. Nestle Dryers ice cream. Did remanufacture. We had the largest ice cream plant in the world there in Bakersfield. 35 lines ice cream, skinny cow, dryers, all that slow churn stuff. And I was watching over all the remanufactured before this wall that goes to production. We had to make sure all the ingredients, all the chips, peanut butter, jelly, strawberries, everything were ready to roll and pumped into these vats, and then they'd be pumped on the line the next day. They'd be ready to go at 6 a.m. in the morning.
And prior to working at Real Water, had you ever used an orb meter before?
No.
And prior to working for Real Water, did you even know what an orb meter was?
No, I didn't.
Okay. And do you know what orb stands for?
Orb?
Orb.
What is it?
ORP.
Oh, O-R-T?
Here, let's start over again. O like Oregon, R like real, and P like production, or.
Before, no.
Okay. Now, when you first arrived at Real Water, did they have a quality control director?
Don't, or because I think Blaine was pretty much overall quality control there. Maybe Amy too, I'm not really sure.
Okay, and you got there November 2018, correct?
That's right.
Okay, so according to the Exhibit 18, you got Exhibit 18 there?
Again, page 18, NSF International Bottled Water Plant Audit.
Right.
Very big deal.
Okay, are you familiar with NSF?
Yes.
Okay, and were you there that day when an NSF person came on December 6, 2018?
Oh, I'm sure it was, yes. I walked around, behind the whole team there.
Okay, and according to the NSF report, if you look at the number 86 on the bottom, there's a document number.
6, see it right here?
Okay, and the note says, quote, "There was no qualified individual to provide a level of competency necessary for production of clean and safe product. Note that the QA director has resigned," unquote. Do you see that?
Well, yes, I absolutely see that. QA director, who the heck was that?
Does that?
What date was this?
This was December 6th, 2018.
Who was it? Can you give me a name who it was, or can you worry about? I know some guy came in for a short amount of time, he left.
Okay, that would be Mr. Pham, Tom Pham.
Right, that rings a bell, right?
And that was after this time period, correct?
Maybe, I think he actually, that's where he said back then. I think he might have been there, did something happen where he just showed up to work and then he was, so I don't remember exactly what happened, but if he was there that day or day before, I could understand that, because I didn't remember that person's name. I remember him being around, and there's some issues with that person there, but anyway, yeah. He could have been the QA director, he could have been.
Was there a quality control director that resigned when you were there?
Not a name as such. I mean, this other fan person, he was going to actually take my position. It was going to be a level between myself and Blaine. He was going for that, so maybe he was going to be that person. But a special quality, no, it wasn't that.
So at the time of the 2018 NSF audit on December 6, 2018, Real Water did not have a quality control director.
No, I don't believe so. I do remember that. Okay, now you're ringing my bell. I remember that Amy and them, Blaine said they had a really bad audit with Costco. We got to get this thing going here. They bring it up to speed. Maybe that's what they brought him on board. Tighten things up. I'm sure that's what it was for.
Okay. So you heard that they had a bad audit with Costco referring to this Exhibit 18, correct?
Right, that's right, right.
And Costco was one of the major customers at the time?
I think they were the major customer at the time, I believe.
Okay, and other than hearing...
That was regular consumable, fine gallons of everybody.
Right, and other than hearing they had a bad audit, did you hear anything specific about the audit?
Let me look over here for a minute. Sure. The other audit, what was that tab again for the audit?
That's number 18.
Let's see where we could go here. We're going to go real quick to any rings a bell here.
Sure.
this is page here, you got page 3 of 17. Number 1, middle of the page there. It's about right. The positions were held by the VP of Operation, Executive VP, so that, I think that was Amy Jones. And Elaine kind of running those things. It's a smaller operation.
So in any event, in or around January of 2019, there was a concern at Real Water that there was a bad audit, correct?
Right, there was maybe a week or two after that, and there was buzz around the plant with Blaine and Amy, and they were really getting excited about they had to get this audit up to speed, they had to be good on this next audit, and I think there were rumors about they might have lose Costco account, or
There was some
I don't know if I remember, I just remember the buzz around the plant.
You remember hearing some discussion about the potential of losing the Costco account because of this bad audit?
Right, they require a very high standard there, like that. And that's the operation there, that's probably perfect, you know, for consumer.
And did you hear discussion as to whether or not Real Water could continue in business if they lost the Costco account?
I wasn't on that level of discussion, no.
Okay. So in any event, sometime after this, December 6, 2018 inspection, they hired Mr. Pham, correct?
Right, Mr. Pham was there.
And then Tom Pham was made the Director of Quality Control, right?
There you go, yes, he was.
And you said Tom Pham lasted just a brief period of time?
To my knowledge, I think maybe a month or 2 months, maybe.
Did he leave prior to the time you left?
Oh, yes, he did.
And do you know why Mr. Pham left?
I know he was not very happy when he was doing work in there. I don't know why, I don't know the details, but maybe told him or Blaine told me.
Did you witness any disagreements between Mr. Pham and anyone else at Real Water?
Oh, with myself, I disagree with him. He's just more talkative than action kind of guy. Anyway, I don't go too far on that, but nice personality, but for the position, he wasn't as strong of a leader at all. That's my input.
Did you think he was qualified?
No.
And why did you think he was qualified to be a quality control director?
Like I said, I worked for Nestle, and higher standards, I was always talking to Amy and Blaine about changing things up over there. We could tighten up a bit, but he wasn't one of the people that just talks to management, like he knows what's going on, but when he's not doing that, he's checking his phone and dating sites and things like that. He wasn't really engaged, that's big.
Okay. He would cuddle up to management, but he wasn't really doing his job.
Right, that's right. Maybe he was doing some good stuff behind the scenes, but I didn't see much.
Okay. Are you familiar with HACCP, HACCP?
Yes, hazardous control points, yes, sir.
And have you had HACCP training?
Years ago, Nestle, critical control points, that's a part of it.
Do you know whether or not Mr. Pham had any HACCP training?
No, I don't know.
But in your view, he was not qualified to be a quality control director?
Right, and just based on my experience in the past, I can see that in his blood.
Did you feel like you knew more about quality control than he did?
I felt I did, which wasn't a good gauge, because I never was actually a quality control person in any of my roles before, but I worked for great professional people at Nestle. And that's a different level. I'm more engaged, serious.
Nestle has a different level of quality control than Real Water had.
Yes, I'd say very much so.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, would you put Nestle at a 10?
10 plus, yes. He said, oh, wait a minute, he said, I was quality control. Yes, I was quality control for Carnation when I first began years ago. First got it maybe it was in 1989.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, Carnation had a 10 quality control?
Oh, 10 plus, yes. That's even this distribution, it wasn't manufacturing.
And Nestle had a 10 plus in your view?
Oh, yes.
As of the time you left, had they made a decision? Was the Costco account still in existence at the time you left?
I believe so. I believe it was. I know there were 3 shifts operated. They tried 3 shifts, 2 shifts, and this production was getting slow, and that's when I laid myself off in the controller sick bay for a couple of days.
Who got laid off? You and the controller?
Right. The controller was taken over by Blaine, and then Amy took over my position.
Okay, if you take a look at the, this might be a good place to stop you.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our lunch break. You're admonished not to converse amongst yourselves with anyone else in any subject connected with this trial, or to read, watch, or listen to the report or comment on the trial. Many persons connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, radio, or social media, and a member of the corporation, or to inform or express any opinion on the ultimate outcome until the case is submitted for deliberation. And so I'm looking right now, what do you think, Mr. Marshall, 145? It's 12 what? Pardon? What do you think? What do you want?
2 is fine, Judge.
Just want to make sure you're okay. 2 o'clock is what it is.
2 o'clock, all rise for the departure of the jury.
Okay, you got
There's always a well,
All clear, thank you.
all right, great. I think we have none of objection as it pertains to one of the plaintiff's earlier expert as to qualifications, is that correct? Is that still pending or?
Nope.
So don't need to address anything?
No.
All right, just want to make sure. Everybody enjoy your lunch.
Thank you.
Wait. Go ahead.
So, Mr. Rasmussen, you asked for the meter box, which I gave you, and you said it's exhibit 789.
089, because I think that's what I was told.
Because their exhibit 789, which is what you said, is
Not that.
someone else's medical records.
Yeah, James Hughes.
Your 7089 is like a picture of an engine or something. So,
I'll figure it
and
out.
that is marked as one of the plaintiff's exhibits, so I just need to know what's happening.
Okay.
And when we're moving for the admission of exhibits, can we specify Hanna's or Milwaukee? Can we just specify what the exhibit
I
is
thought it
further?
was, yes.
Thank you.
I'll take care of it.